We're back in, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I went for a wee. We've ordered the food.
Yes.
Now weighing it through the window. That's going to become a staple.
It's lit, innit? And you never know when in the show it's going to happen. But it's going to happen at some point.
That's how I used to get food in Manchester, you know.
Is it?
I used to go to some place in Moss Side to get my hair cut, and I said to the bar, listen, where do you get some food right now? He said, there's a shop next door, or there's the best ones in some house. So I went there, some little back street. I ordered the food when I was in the barber shop. Went there a couple of minutes around the corner, knocked the door, and the food just come through the letterbox, boy.
That is lit.
Like, raw.
What food was it?
It was like the Caribbean food. Like,
No
so then put
way.
$5 or whatever it was, take the food exchange. It was mad. And then after he got to know me, he said, "Let me come and sit in the kitchen and that." But for the first month or two, the exchange was through the letterbox. That was it.
That's gangster.
Absolute manners. We're talking about Roy Keane, though.
From food to Roy Keane. He used to eat people, bro.
He did, didn't it?
That's my idol.
Special was that man. And you was talking about who dared to stand up to Roy Keane. Did you have any altercations?
Yeah, I had a couple of arguments with him.
I knew you would stand up to him, but I want to know who else.
Nicky Butt. Actually, Nicky Butt had an argument with him in America one time.
See? Nicky Butt had a fight with David Batty.
We're not having pre-season arguments. Ross.
Who else?
How
Not
come
a
Butt
proper
and
argument,
Batty?
just like a little bite back, do you know what I mean? But like, who else? He had some people shook though in that change room. I know that. I'm not even going to embarrass a few people, but I know
who was
some-
shook.
some
I know
people
John O'Shea was shook.
No.
I know Fletcher might have been shook.
No, Shazy and Fletch were like his like little. They were like his little brothers. He treated them like his little.
Oh, is it?
guys. Yeah,
Oh, that's lit then.
And they loved him. Look up, Shazy's Irish, obvious.
Oh, Shazy look up to
Fletch
him.
is a midfielder, desperate to be a player.
Must look
hung
up to
off
Roy
every
Keane.
word. Yeah, like he's. And to be fair, Roy, as bad as people will talk about him and his image and that, but one thing I tell you was he was a great leader, and that he actually, because the standards he demanded on a daily basis in the change room, like he pulled the change room together one time meeting, like I don't see enough people doing extras. People come in, get on their phones, go home. Where's the extra working on your game on the training pitch? Where's the extra going in the gym?
Is that what you was on?
Yeah, he was on
So
that.
Ricky
And
was-
certain people was going like, I was alright because I always done extras, but I know certain people was in there like, right, talking like me. Oh my god, I hope you don't look at me. Oh, some people were like that, like yeah, people moving shook. Like, but he was like,
Jonathan Greening.
he weren't there when I was there, but he might have been one. But yeah, I ain't gonna name names. I won't embarrass people, but there's some big people that you wouldn't imagine that would have been. That I know that their heart rate used to go up.
Van Nistelrooy.
No. Rude was a top guy, Rude.
Come on.
But it was like, but the thing is, there was always arguments them times. It was easy. Do you know what they did? Back then, it was okay to fight and argue. It was okay to ruffle feathers. It was okay to point the finger at people and then remain friends after, because it was all for the good of winning.
Yeah.
It weren't no ego business. It weren't because of me, because I want to be the top guy, or anything. It was because for the betterment of my team, I'm going to tell you. That's the way it was.
Got you.
So I just hope that's there today in the dressing rooms, that people just ain't. That's why I liked what I see with Mane the other day with Salah.
I love that.
Whether he's right or wrong,
Mane
he
was
didn't
right.
care. He didn't care because he's thinking about, I want the team to win. I want the team to prosper. And he put everything aside, don't care about our friendship and how we're part of the Three Amigos or whatever. Pass me the ball, man.
I think he was very right. I think that was so good to see.
I don't care if he was right. I just love seeing it, and that's what I was talking to a couple of the boys the other day. I'm just that for me is sometimes more than a result. That's more than a goal, a tackle. Just seeing that and knowing that that's in that change room from a Man United perspective, that ain't good. Because that's something you need in a change room.
Do you know what's so funny? So you want to say something? It's so funny that you say about the Roy Keane thing, because instantly, do you know what I started thinking of? It's like, who in that changing room pulls everyone aside and says, "Boys, we are actually acting up. Like we've got a team of Man United's got a very talented team.
What, now who does it?
Who does it?
Probably James right now, of anyone.
Daniel James,
which is mad, but
he's a
I can't really see anyone there that.
Yeah, but that's
will
what
do
we've been
that.
talking about on BT for a while now. Like when you talk about teams, like who's the leader? Like at Man United, no one really stands out
Not
as
at
being, or
Not even
has,
Pogba.
or has Pogba's a
videos.
leader. I think he's got it in him. We saw it with France. You saw
Yeah,
that.
he's a leader, man.
But you need players that are willing to come together. You need players that I think the Man United dressing room has been far too confused for a long time about philosophy, about management, about direction, and so it's made it more difficult for someone like Pogba to bring that dressing room together. Maybe
He lost a lot of characters as well this summer.
Yeah, but like I don't know. There ain't been that person or that anyone at the moment where I've seen you can direct go. And sometimes it's not about one. Man United, in my team, it weren't just about one person leading. If I had the armband, it wasn't just about me. Nemanja led in his own way. Giggsy led in his own way. Gary Neville led in his own way. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's different people that lead. Yeah. Within it, you need lieutenants sometimes in that dressing room, more than just one man speaking. So you can't be afraid to put someone's nose out of joint. You can't be afraid to go, oi, you better fix up because you're going to mess up my chances of winning. So calm down what you're doing or sort out what you're doing so we can go on and win. Now, is that happening now? Like, I look at Liverpool, Robertson's performances, the way his intensity is a form of leadership. Yeah. It sets the tone. Jordan Henderson, like, legend. The way he, like, people were calling him out, he ain't good enough, he's not this, he's not that. He might not have the technical ability of a lot of players, but the intensity with which he plays sets the tones that other players have to be up there with that intensity. So James Milner, do you know what I mean?
Legends.
And that's a core of British players that's within that team that do set a tone sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So forget sometimes all of the frills and the skills and whatnots. Without that other side, you can't be successful. And I'm sure them three guys are guys that will talk and shout at people in that change room.
Hendo definitely.
Does it hurt you seeing
Liverpool
do?
Bruv, it's murder.
It's murder?
Because none of my mates are like Liverpool fans, and I liked Liverpool when I was younger because of Barnes. Like, I didn't really support a team properly, but I liked Barnes, so I watched a lot of Liverpool.
Yeah.
But all my mates were Liverpool, man. Liverpool at Arsenal and like, Arsenal ain't a threat, so it's cool. But Liverpool, but Arsenal,
I know.
Liverpool, what they're doing now, it just looks.
I think this season
menacing, bruv.
This is the season, I reckon.
I think City will win the league still.
Again?
Yeah. There's only, like, it's three in a row. That's the incentive for them. We done it. They're gonna want to match what someone else done. That's something to aim at, isn't it? I didn't want to put that in there, the 3 in a row, but it's what we done.
Yeah, that's lit though. You lot done. I can't lie, Man United done bits.
I swear that the last 5 in a row, that was with like Owen in the team, and was that team when Fergie was on the way out? Overtime when he scored that goal against.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, but we won it then. We missed, and someone else won it. Then Fergie won it when his last year.
That's it. Yeah, like last year.
So I think it was like 2000.
That team wasn't even that good. The last team.
I know people say that. Yeah, like the team Fergie's last team that won it. Yeah,
2013.
We won it by about 8 points. Won the league.
That's
they weren't that good.
But that's the testament of Fergie.
Fergie just has something in him.
Yeah, that showed me the management is massive. Plays a massive part. Because we thought, leave it out, bro. But we thought, you know, when you're in that bubble. Just imagine, you're in the bubble, and everyone's talking. Fergie's a god. Fergie's this, and we're all the same. We're behind him. Do anything for him as the manager. But a part of you sits there and goes, it ain't just him though. It's us as well. We got some ego, some pride. Like, it is us as well. Are we getting the kind of shout that it's more spread than just it's just Fergie. I didn't realise how much is driven by a manager and the influence a manager can have until he left. When he left, in the months that started gathering after that I was at Man United, and you could see there's a big difference. I started going. I remember me and Nemanja Vidic used to have steam room. We used to go in the steam room a lot after training, and we'd have like 30-minute, 20-minute intense conversations about all this type of stuff. And we used to always say, is he really a genius or is he just lucky? But in them months after he left, it was like, right, he's a genius. Isn't it? This guy was too good, man. He could smell it. He could smell it. It was just different. He could come in and he'd make decisions with a team, and we'd sit there and go, what's he doing? What is he doing? How's he playing? Why? He's brought him out, and all of a sudden my man would go and score or set up a goal and have an unbelievable performance. But he used to just act off instinct sometimes. I think he just woke up sometimes and think, you know what? I'm going to play Darren Gibson against Bayern Munich.
He's a madman. Like, he played 6 defenders against Arsenal.
Like, different talk, like, and like Arsenal, so basic. People think it's so intricate, this management business, and it's got to be like there's only one Guardiola who makes football sound like poetry and make it sound like it's algebra at the same time, yeah. But he sees it so clear and no one else can see it as clear as him, yeah.
Yeah.
But Fergie, some would strip it back against Arsenal in them days when it used to go, oh, you go and outrun, you outbattle, you take over the game physically, boot these around the park, and then let you do your football too. You do talking after. That's Sunday football talk. That ain't like Premier League Championship winning, European Championship winning team talk. That's stripping it back and saying, outwork these boys. They don't want it when you're in their face. Darren Fletcher, get up against them and let them see you straight from minute 1 to minute 90. That's how you win this game against them. No intricate business about overlaps, underlaps, high block, low block business. It weren't none of that. Like, so sometimes it's like it's just understanding your opponent sometimes and just going, you don't need to do all this. You can beat them by doing this. And he was like, he used to, and that was a different game plan to playing against, I don't know, against Liverpool sometimes, or playing against Bolton away, or like he changed it all the time.
So Fergie, you'd say, so he was instinct was very special about him. It was the almost basic tactics at times, nothing too crazy, and we speaking about, you know, social media, superstars, the game's changing. You do remember also at the Beckham thing when Cristiano Ronaldo came as well. There was always, I feel like, a bit of a competition between him and the players, where he's saying you can't be really a superstar here and stand out too much. Is that true, would you say?
No, he liked that, Bellingham, but if he didn't want you to be too big for your boots or think you was bigger than anything else.
Okay, there we go.
And
there was a history of players.
He might have thought that with Bex towards the end. That are you listening to me? Are you taking on everything I'm telling you? Are you trying to be more of an individual than I need you to be for my team? They're the questions I think he probably had, and he didn't get the answers in his own mind that he wanted. So therefore, bye bye. Same thing with Roy Keane. He thought he'd gone too far beyond in terms of maybe his discipline or whatever that he was putting out there, and he didn't act the way he wanted him to act. And he was coming to the end, and he Stam. So he made quick decisions, things like that. But Cristiano, the difference was he was on his way up. All them guys you just mentioned are people in the middle of their careers or coming towards the end. So Cristiano was on his way up. He was grooming him. And he was almost like a pet project in that he came as a huge potential, and by the time he was looking to leave, he was the best player in the world. So I've been a part of that.
What was that game like where you said, sign that boy?
Sporting Lisbon, away. I'll never forget it.
What was it like?
I remember about 3 or 4 of us were going toilet, boy, at half time. I looked at Shazy, was marking him, couldn't breathe. He needed an oxygen tank, Shazy, in a bad way. I was laughing. I was in the toilet laughing, going toilet, and about 4 of us were going, wow, that boy's unbelievable, isn't it?
What was he doing?
Sign him. He was just doing mad tricks. He was opening of a stadium, like it was opening of their new stadium, but he was just bamboozling people with tricks. Like, I was like, well, stay on the wing, don't come inside, please. And it was like, Shazy, get hold of him, come on, man, what's wrong with you? Like, mad. And then, bearing in mind, we'd missed out on signing Ronaldinho that summer.
I remember.
And I was pissed. I was thinking,
did he really come to
Ronaldinho? No, he didn't come to training ground, I don't think, but it was like, Ronaldinho, gaffer. Every morning I was like, have you signed him, Have we got him? Come on. I don't know, son. I'm not sure, son. Gaffer, please, have you got it or not? What's going on? What's it going to take? Is it money or what? Come on, just pay whatever he needs. I'm not sure, son, not sure. We ain't got him. Not going to get him. Heartbreak, bruv. I was like, oh my God, deflation. Like, wow, what are we going to do, man?
Ronaldinho United would have been
mad.
Iron Robben.
And then Iron Robben as well. He comes to the training ground. I saw him at the training ground.
You saw Robben at the training ground?
Like, didn't turn up. Then he goes to Chelsea and smashes it. Becomes whatever he was an unbelievable player.
What other players did you see at training ground?
But Cristiano. But we didn't need a training. We played that game, yeah?
Yeah.
After the game, everyone's going, boss, got to get him. What a player, got to get him. We was on the coach. All of a sudden, half an hour. What's going on? Not moving. Outside the stadium. And then all of a sudden, Chinese Whispers comes back. No, they're in the boardroom trying to sign the kid, that Ronaldo.
Did they scout him before?
They'd known about him. He weren't like an unknown quantity, but the extent of how good he wasn't that. It was clear to see this is potential, the best in the world.
So basically, if you lot didn't play that game, Arsenal would have signed Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I'm fuming.
Yeah.
I am so angry.
We wouldn't have gone so hard to get him.
So you lot couldn't have had him?
Yes.
Yeah, but he would have flopped there.
Not under Arsene Wenger. Are you mad?
So Cristiano was on his way to Arsenal potentially.
Yeah.
And you lot played a friendly?
Yeah, to open the stadium. Obviously, they wanted a big club to come and open the stadium, so they called Man United. And then we went there, and he tore it up.
So
It's like
the friendly as well. That's the
I'm
maddest
fuming,
thing.
bro.
He was bad, but like, so that's what I mean. So like, Fergie just kind of, he was like a project for Fergie. Like Carlos Queiroz, they just groomed him, man, and without his own self pride and determination and desire to improve and become better, it wouldn't have happened what happened. But he needed the likes of Fergie and Carlos as well, and the team to push him.
Yeah.
Jesus. But that's crazy. You guys are waiting on a coach, and it was because the management was trying to sign Cristiano.
Yeah,
I rate.
That's
you know what?
mad.
One of the is this true as well? 'Cause I'm obsessed with certain football stories, and I'm obsessed with Ferguson. That he started making plans to win the league after you won 1-0 against Sunderland and lost it in the last minute against Aguero. I heard he was on the coach.
Yeah. No, in the change room, mate.
What?
So that change room, that's one of the. It's another time when you just go, this guy's different, man. Like just imagine, I'm on the pitch here. Our final whistle goes, we've won the league. A whole season, and the whistle goes, and you look at the bench. Have we won? What's the score? Yeah, it ain't finished there yet, but we win. All of a sudden, their fans go nuts at Sunderland. At the stadium are like, oh my, you realise obviously City must have scored. That feeling, man. I can't even put that into words, and to let you understand how that feels. Deflation is like, whoa. Proper. You walk in a change room, and that's the time we had Phil Jones, Smalling, a few other younger players coming into the squad. Yeah. I think Fletch was one at Welbeck, Cleves, etc.
Was that the season you beat us 8-2?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
It was.
And I remember we all sat down, everyone slumped, quiet. Could have heard a pin drop, and then Fergie comes in and just goes, right, get your heads up, look at me now. Look at him, you're thinking, right, and he's like, listen, you young players, all I want you to do now is just remember there are fans in that stadium laughing at you. Not even their team, not even celebrating their own team or clapping their own team, they're celebrating you losing. Just think of that. And in pre-season, you use that as your fuel for next season to come back and win this league. And you older ones, you help these boys, get your arms around them and make sure they're all right and they're not too low after this. Get dressed and have a good summer.
What a fucking G, man.
I was like, well, I was low, but I couldn't wait to come back in. I started my pre-season early on my own. Go back in, you're like raring to go, like, and I don't know, man. It's just like sometimes the words are important, but the tone with which he addresses the team as well is so important, man. Like, he just managed to do that countless times where he would talk about stuff that had nothing to do with football, nothing to do with any football at all. Remember the Chilean Miners that were underground for about a few months?
I think I know something about
Look it up. They got trapped underground, yeah?
Oh, the Chilean Miners.
Yeah, I thought you'd know that.
They
got trapped underground. So they started thinking about eating each other and stuff like that to survive, and a real team effort to get themselves out of it. We were sitting on the bikes one time in the change before training in the gym, and we used to look at a big screen, and all of a sudden these guys started walking in, man, lining up in front of us. Who's these guys, man? What's this? Fergie comes in and says, do you know who these guys are? No, these are the guys that were trapped underground from Chile.
No way, you're taking this.
Ferguson brought the Chilean Miners.
Bruv, I was
this
like,
man
wow.
is God.
Different. Yeah, the day after, the next day we played against, I don't know, it was, he said, my team talk was yesterday. If you can't run around and try and kill yourself and be almost bursting at the seams for 90 minutes after what you see yesterday with them guys, you don't deserve to be here.
And did you guys win?
Battered the team. Went out like, what? Like, you could pump, your veins were like...
So he saw the Chilean Miners
We had a sponsorship deal with a Chilean wine company at the time, I think, something like
Wow.
that. So he managed to get something like that. I don't know how he worked it. But this is the guy who was thinking of little margins to make a difference, man, in a season. Like, he was just a different character.
Fergie's mad.
And that's why I say to you, I like Klopp. I've heard these stories about Klopp. I've heard stories about Klopp taking his team to some house far away all together and saying, all we've got is each other. There's nothing else to do. If you're not prepared to, and apparently it was really, really cold and it was terrible conditions and they had to get close together. And his whole thing was, if you're not prepared to like stay with us under these conditions, then you can't be here the whole season. Get out now.
You need that. It's like sometimes they'll start a story, yeah, in the team talk, and I'm just sitting there thinking, what is this? We're playing Huddersfield at home and you're chatting about all this mad stuff that has got nothing to do with
Huddersfield at home.
And then he'll bring it round to like sacrificing yourself for your teammates or for the club, or like, and then you go at the end of it, oh, I get it. Right, get me out there. Like, mad. It's just like, sometimes it's not even about tactics, man. Like, that's why I say about even today, like my kids, all I stress to my kids, yeah, is work hard. That's it. Outwork anyone in your team. That's it. That's all it's about. Like, look in the change room when you go in there and think, like, what is he doing when he's not here? And then when you get home, think to yourself, if I'm working now a little bit more, I do 10 more passes against the wall, or I get my brother to just go and ping some balls at me, or work on my left foot, and just keep stimulating yourself by saying, is he doing that? No, he ain't. I am. Watch. And then gradually you're going to build a distance between yourself and the next guy who's trying to take your position. Like, that's all I say to my kids. Like, and at school, work ethic, it overrides everything. Everyone's got a bit of talent at something, but if you work hard with that, you got a chance, man. That's all. Work hard. That's all. And the Fergie was like a big advocate of that. Working hard is not like it's not a chore. It shouldn't be a chore. Do you know what I mean? You should enjoy working hard because you get rewarded when you work hard.
Do you know what? I think that's what's so lit about football. Football definitely teaches you that. I remember when I first went to go and play for a team, I was all smiling and everything. And I remember the manager came up to me and goes, I don't know why you're so happy. You've come to take someone's jersey. You don't look like you're ready to take someone's jersey. And I was just like, what do you mean take someone's jersey? And I think after a year, I was still on the bench. I was like, oh, this is what it means. And then you start realising someone else is coming to take your place on the bench and you haven't even made the first team. And that's when you're like, wait a minute. And I think that's when I remember I was like 12 and I said, I need to start working hard. And it's funny because ever since then I can say that's probably my biggest attribute is I will outwork everyone.
That's
Even
good.
it doesn't matter how talented you are, you can be more talented than me. I will outwork you 100%. I'll sleep 4 hours a day for a week. Like, I'm not having it. And I think that's what
the way.
I've never met a harder working guy.
Was it?
Jesus Christ.
That's good though, man.
It's mad.
Yeah, because of football though. Football teaches you, especially I play centre back. Football teaches you. Always got to be for 90 minutes plus stoppage time. The game is not over. So for me, like this whole thing's a game. It's not over until the whistle's blown, and I will work every blade of grass. My shirt will be brown, full of mud. Like that's how I look at everything in life, purely because of football, man.
It's like the players today. I just think like they got when you get to a professional club, you got so much opportunity there. Like there's so much that's done for you. Like in today's game, like everything is just put on a plate. Like it's almost to the extent where it feels like it's harder to foul once you get in a professional club because as long as you work, there's so many young players that you think if only you just worked, man.
A little bit harder.
Just if you just put your mind into working rather than to what you can buy or what you can get, just work and you'll be alright. Like, and enough players you just come out the game and they go, yeah, I messed about. I didn't realise, man. It goes so quick. A year or two in the academy and you're out on your arse at the end of it because you ain't applied yourself properly. Must be the worst feeling in the world. The guilt, the embarrassment you must feel to have to tell people. That's what they should be thinking. Am I going to have to come out of here in 2 years when I'm 18 after I've signed for 16? Everyone's going pat on the back, well done. My son's going to be a player, blah blah. Everyone adulation that comes with signing for a professional team at 16, leaving school, 2-year scholar now. Fast forward and think how it would feel if you get released and all the now you're going to have to go to people. How's it going at so-and-so club? Are you still at the professional club? No, I'm back playing Sunday football now. What's the if they could give you a little spoonful of that feeling, far more kids would make it, but it's just having the foresight to think, I don't want to get to that point.
That is true. Imagine that, bro.
How would you give advice to young people then in those situations?
Yeah, well, our mentor for the management company look after me is Neuro, and I speak to them on the text. Like Ben Godfrey now is 21 captain, England.
Baller.
And Norwich.
Mitch, you told Mitch about him. Mitch told me about him. Bought him on FIFA.
Bro,
very loyal.
Mad player. He will be. I think he's got a chance to be a big player. But there's other players, Michael Keane. But there's other younger players. Is the ones I'm interested in a lot as well, because they're the ones you can have an impact on and affect. So I just chat to them on social media. Like, I might speak to one of their managers or coaches. How's he getting on? Blah blah. And I'll get a bit of information and just filter that back to them. But no sugarcoating. Just like bang. What? Oh, how are you doing? And they just, some of them might just try and give you a little line. They're like, yeah, it's going all right. Hold on, but how come you ain't been doing this, doing your extras, or your body language is wrong? Sort that out. Blah, blah. And then you just, I get my reward through that now. Seeing the difference. Is there a difference? Have they changed? Have they improved? What are they achieving? And I can sit there sometimes. I've played one mini little part in trying to help maybe just refocus them or something like that. And just being that person to speak to for them is good, man. I get a lot out of that. It's nice. And it's just like, I wish I had more people like that when I was growing up who've had the experience, who could give me a little bit of a point in the right direction. Because it's important, man, because every kid's going to come to a point in their career, whether they're young, at the beginning, middle or old, where there's a crossroads of a decision to make, or to reboot the machine and start refocusing the right way. And they need sometimes just a little guidance in that and pushing in the right direction. And I think it's valuable when you get that. I remember one time Carlos Queiroz said to me, I was training. This is the time when I felt invincible as well. And he went to me, Rio, your performance is dropping a little bit sometimes. It's like, you're not doing more than you should do. So you're just doing enough, coasting through games. In training, sometimes you get the ball. If you pass it out wide or whatever, or through the team, sprint through. I used to think, this guy's mad. What's he talking about? But then it was like that muscle memory, that your body remembering that you run fast all the time. They're getting used to it. So in games, when the game quickens up and becomes a bit of a basketball game, back and forth, your legs and your body's used to it. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden the game, I can't remember the game happened, but it was a fast game, and I just felt unbelievable. I just felt quick, stronger, powerful, could do them long 30, 40 yard runs, easy, no problem. But without that little bit of a push or a little mental note from someone, it don't happen. And they get to that game and it happens and you think, I can't breathe.
That is crazy.
You lose the game 1-0.
The little things. So see how all these little things contributed to you guys and you as well, like individually being great. The Ferguson, the Queiroz, the Ronaldos, the kind of, the Miners, all these little things go run through for the first.
Do you know the mad thing is that I'm just in the process now. In time, I'm bringing out an app for younger kids who want to train like professionals, football wise. Like, it will be on the market soon. We're going to push it out there, but because I'm so like, when I was younger, I used to go out on a Sunday with one of my best friends, Gavin, walk to a park, Burgess Park, play football and just do passing things, just imagination, probably like you guys did, but was I working right? Was I working effectively to suit my game? And and then my kids, I tell my kids, go and get a training drill and go and do it. My boy said to me, Lorenzo, went, but I could find a few drills on there, Dad, but I don't know which one's right for me. Like, what ones? How do I know that person's telling me? He's telling me that I know that he's the person saying it's the right thing. What qualifies him to tell me it's the right thing?
Who said that?
My boy.
My Lord.
I said, wow.
iTunes or Simba?
iTunes. I said, wow. I said, okay. So then at the same time, a guy came to me and we just created this app now. It's launching soon, but it's where kids can train like a pro. It'll be sick, but it's all these little details that I'm trying to put into that, so kids have got it in their hand. That they just go out and they can see it quick, straight. It's all aggregated in one place.
And get out there as well. Get out there and start playing.
And start implementing what they're seeing straight away. It's important because sometimes you can train hard and work hard, but are you training efficiently? Are you training effectively
smart,
for yourself?
100%.
Smart.
I'm more on the work smart vibe.
Yeah.
You do though. You can make 5 moves, and where some people make 20 moves, you can make 5 moves. I do like the younger generation though. They are expressing themselves more, especially within football. The likes of Sancho, the Hudson-Odois, the Phil Fodens. You're talking about. There's like a little boy, Real Madrid Kubo. Like he's a proper Japanese boy. He's such a baller.
Bad player.
It's like,
what's the Brazilian brother, Vinicius?
Oh, Vinicius Junior.
He's got the raw talent.
Yeah. He's technically so good as well. Like, there's so many good young players. Like I said, the Premier League, little Jamesy at United is doing really, really well. Just the information you're giving your son. Is this going to be a game that is now dominated by, I would say, the younger demographic? Because growing up, it's always been, when I watched Manchester United, you loved, I remember 95, 96, or even before that, everyone loved the Cantonas and maybe the Andy Coles, the more flamboyants. But my dad used to go watch Steve Brucey or watch Brian Robson. Those are the experienced boys that piece it all together. Adams at Arsenal. Watch Tony Adams' car. He's the proper one that understands what's going on. He understands the football pitch. Even later on, he was obsessed with Roy Keane. He was like, that's a leader. That's football. Whereas now, some of the teams, their go-to guy is the Mbappe. Like, he's everything. And even Steven Gerrard kind of changed things. I remember 01, 02 when he got the captaincy. He was very, very, very young. But his leadership qualities for a young player kind of, for me, changed the way I even saw a captain. I always thought of a captain as the older person. But then after, I think without Steven Gerrard getting the captaincy, Cesc Fabregas is never captain at Arsenal. I don't think that ever happens because there's no predecessor that makes you go, no, a captain doesn't need to be a 30-year-old player. It actually can be a player that's 22 with all the qualities of the experienced person at 30, but he has them at a small rate at 22. He can become what that 30-year-old is now. Are we approaching an age where it's just going to be young players predominantly more than the older generation?
It is becoming a younger man's sport almost because the pace of the game's so quick now, man. It's much different. I watch some of the warm-ups and I'm thinking, wow, well, how would I live in there now? Do you know what I mean?
How do you think
but
you
it's
would
like,
yeah, for real.
I'll be alright, bro. My touch is too good, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. no, but I just think like the game is so much quicker, man. Back in the day, I could reel off enough names of slow players, physically baggy. Not now. Like who's slow? Who's really slow? You look at a team and go, he's slow. And Liverpool Adams. Team, there ain't no. Yeah, where's Charlie Adams playing? Exactly. I'm talking Premier League. Like where like Liverpool team now? Who's slow?
Oh my god!
Look in the City team. Who's slow?
Oh.
There is no slow players anymore.
Even Chelsea, mate. They took a break the other day.
Who's slow?
I saw Mason Mount, Pulisic, Pedro was running. Even Tammy's got a bit of pace. Yeah. I was like, this is
the players that ain't quick in today's game would have been fairly quick in my years probably. Like, it's mad. So the game is quicker, but leaders are going to be always they're different, and it's never the same type of leader. I don't very, very rarely now, if ever, you're going to see a type of Roy Keane type leader in today's game because they're not built like that no more. They're not allowed to be like that no more. Like, you see managers getting struck off and coaches in young years for shouting at kids or being too aggressive, getting struck off out of work because of that. So to think that a player's going to be as vocal and as kind of demonstrative and like to the point with players, are they built to deal with that anymore? Like, so you've got to lead in different ways. Like, you look at the difference in leadership between Roy Keane and Steven Gerrard, both great leaders. Steven Gerrard very rarely said things, didn't really lose it at all. But he's football done the talking. He led by inspiration. He led by performance. So there's different types, and like you look at now, Henderson. He seems like he's more vocal, but he's not going to be in a vindictive way, like or super aggressive maybe. And by the way, he plays with application, intensity every day. So there's different forms of it, but definitely there's more and more younger players that are coming into the game and becoming stars immediately. And that's down to social media as well. The exposure you're getting now is different. Listen, Michael Owen comes out and does what he does at 18, 19 years old. In today's game, no one's living with him. No one's getting the exposure that he got. He is Mbappe on steroids in terms of exposure of what he done in terms of like coming out, banging up the Premier League straight away, scoring loads of goals, international. He's on a par with what Mbappe's doing, I'd say, or more.
Because scored in his debut Wimbledon too.
The goal he scored in the World Cup, like
against Argentina,
like
insane.
Even
And
if
I've
it's
spoke to
Romania.
Michael about this, and I'm sure he's a bit peeved. Like, there's people that compare me to certain names. I won't even say some of the names, but people are saying, "Oh, Mike, he's a great player, akin to Mike," and he's sitting there. I know Michael's sitting there thinking, "Pardon? How dare you associate him with me?" Like, because Michael was a ridiculous. Like, he don't get the respect he deserves, credit-wise.
It's his fault.
He was a joke of a player.
His fault. I'm always going to blame Michael
What do you
Owen for
mean?
that. I just think, unfortunately, in football, people there's loyalty is massive in football. You say we've got 10 minutes?
5-10 minutes.
No problem. Football's massive. I think loyalty is massive in football, and people need to have homes and places in which they live. Van Persie's got the same problem, and I just think football fans never forget. They might forgive, but they never forget. So he had the opportunity to, after his career, go back to Liverpool and be celebrated as one of the greatest finishers of all time. And he goes to Manchester United, which is fair enough. That is a personal choice you made to go and win the Premier League. But now understand what comes with that decision. And I don't think he fully understood until now, where he realizes, wait a minute, I don't have a home. Then he goes and says things about Newcastle. It's like, bro, like, you don't have much homes apart from BT anyway. Like, so those things are his.
Yeah, but I think
fault.
he would say that as well. He would acknowledge that.
Yeah, of course.
And because
Of course.
and it's not until you retire that you realise that. It's still, with hindsight, it's a lot easier because, like, even we bring back social media. If he had a spat with someone on social media, where's his backing coming from?
He's had a spat. Alan Shearer absolutely closed
No,
him.
but where's his backing coming from? Like, say someone like Steven Gerrard had a spat with someone. He's got Liverpool all behind him because that's his home. Where like Michael Owen, but that doesn't go against what he was as a player. He was different.
Yeah, as a
Never
player,
seen
different.
that before. I remember being on a halfway line at Anfield, and I thought it was the biggest pitch in the world because of his pace. I felt vulnerable. Wow, like this guy. If the ball gets kicked over the top, I'm in trouble.
Oh, wow. Do you remember his goal? Do you remember the Milk Cup on a Friday?
Oh, when he ran for the team. Oh, mad goal.
Michael Owen's goal, I think what was it, 1996? No, it was before 1996.
Michael
He
Owen was
16,
different.
And he used to come on Sky Sports Friday, really, really early on in the Premier League season. The goal this Don scores, only thing is he's Welsh, but that's another story.
Not one bit of it is like skill, like over elaborate skill with what he done. It was the quickest way to goal. That's it. And manoeuvre the balls which way to get there. It weren't dubs. It weren't nothing like that. It was get me to goal quick and I'll bang. That was him. Like,
I hated Michael Owen. Literally.
Did ya?
What do you mean? The FA
do you
Cup?
know what?
He got to the FA Cup final.
He's not like he destroyed you.
that
Though. He's not like he's so different like to what you guys maybe think of him as well. He's a cool guy, man.
Like, you know what? I
Cool, man.
think as he's settled into punditry, I've started to enjoy watching him. I think early on everybody was a bit critical of the commentary.
I love this.
What's going on? Oh, your jacket's
Last time we started a podcast like this.
Thank you. We end it like this now.
This week
bro.
Thank you, bro.
this week it seems that we end it with the food. And I read that it used to be ballet. That's sick. Did that help a lot? Do you reckon?
I think
in
it
how
did.
you
I
play
didn't do it
football?
because of football. I just done it because you know what it was. It was something new to do and to get me off the area.
And you weren't embarrassed. You know how it is. You know.
Yeah,
like,
but I just, you know
up,
what, when
ballet.
you're like, when you're comfortable in your own skin, yeah. And I just like, if my friends like say anything, like it ain't nothing to me really.
Did
like,
they say anything to you doing ballet?
Yeah, like, oh, you do ballet, or whatever, but it's like, I used to say no. I go to a dance place, isn't it? What are you talking about?
So you didn't.
I didn't go like, and then but they knew, and I was like, but it's a dance school, isn't it?
Mad.
By the way, there's like new people there, you know. There are like other girls and that there as well.
There are.
Like, and there are
Plie.
like this, that, and then people will start going, and I'm doing something different. What I won't stay in the area all the time. That's true.
How
I was
long
too
did you do it for?
insecure.
Like 3-4 years?
About 4 years.
That's crazy.
It was good, mate. It definitely contributed.
What age did
Ballet
you do it?
dancing is hard. Don't get it twisted.
No, I know.
I'll send any man to ballet now, and you'll be in bits.
When did you do? What age did you do it?
From about 11 to 14.
It makes
10
sense.
10 to 14.
Helps with the movement, awareness.
Yeah, that's why I look so
balance.
slick on the pitch.
The 360 spin at West Ham. The
Oh,
most
mate.
iconic thing
He
for a
had
young
the
defender.
ballet.
Oh, that you
feet.
seen that clip?
What do you,
That
bro?
clip's mad.
Bro, I can't lie. I used to watch football much more intensely than I watch it now. Like every second, I couldn't be off the screen. So if a new young player came, like when you first came in the West Ham era of like the Frankie Lampards, and I'm on it. Oh, West Ham got good young youth. I'm watching
So
You know
it.
good
the
with
mad
your
thing
feet.
about that, yeah, is my it goes back to like your friends, yeah, like on your estate or whatever, and like my friends. When I see like we're all together now, a lot of us, a core of us, come around mine. We have Sunday dinner with the families and kids and that, and the missus and that. And what's so nice is that, because they never spoke to me about it at the time, but when they talk about when I made it at West Ham and in England and so on, and it was so much, it's like, Rio, like, you hear a lot about jealousy and that, but true friends are happy when you do success and you do well. Like, and a couple of my mates said to me the other day when we was around, like when you made it, yeah, we made it. Like, the feeling, yeah, that's when I thought, you know what, I know my true boys are anyway, but these type of things, they just cement it, like, to make me know that that's proper, because that's the way I would have been. You don't understand how that made us feel, really. Like, you making it, you going to West Ham playing Premier League football or England and then breaking the records to go Leeds and Man United. Like, we was living that every step with you, like, and you might have been away for a long period of time, just chat to us on the phone for a little bit, but always about, but we was there. Like, that feeling is like, that's like when you feel, when you can take other people on the journey with you. Like, my boys' best friends come Moscow to Champions League, like,
that's
mad random country, like that. For me to see them after, and the joy that I see on their faces, and like to World Cups, like in Japan or in Germany, like I see my friends there. That part of it you don't really get spoke about, but to be able to go on that journey and to sit back now when I've retired, and then my mates are going, what about when we was in Moscow and we couldn't get a taxi, no one will take us, and we couldn't get back in the hotel, like all these little things that add to, like, you know what, wow, these are the little things that I didn't even know about properly, but we done it together.
That's lit. They even accepted you with that white suit and white hair.
But that
Real
was,
friends.
my friends still spud me for that night.
A true, I'd say a pioneer in your game. One of the greatest centre backs
of all time.
Outspoken, to some controversial, not to all of us. and a man, I think, that just has stayed true to his word. It's been, I think, a pleasure.
Thank you.
I think the cameras about
always down to do it.
Always, bro. Pleasure. Nice, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, we'll have you on again in some shape, manner, or form. I don't think we once again covered what we wanted to cover.
There's bare stuff.
There's so much. I think this is one of those convos you could go for like 6 hours. Really.
100.
I can't lie. I've just arrived from Heathrow. I was.
Was you flagging?
Like, at one point, I was like, "Fuck, no!" Like, bro,
doing that.
Yeah. You know them ones. I had jet lags a motherfucker, bro, but I was like, nah, I need to come. Rio, we booked it.
I'm hungry, man. Grab the food.
The food's here. Let's munch.
Turn off the mic, bro.
Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. We don't know how we're gonna put this out. I think it's gonna maybe in parts, maybe not, but we'll decide. And then boom, we'll see you very, very soon. Keep having a nice. And I need to eat this and go to bed. Say, we done, Paul? Are we done? Cut the blood, man. You can cut it.